So this is going to be a quick reason tip slash tutorial that I like to use in my own songs to help develop some inspiration or fill up my drum sounds a bit. And it's we're going to be using the Dr. Octo-Rex, and basically we're going to use a drum loop that is already a full drum loop from the Dr. Octo-Rex, and then I'm going to put it on top of my normal drums, or the drums that I programmed, in a way that sounds good, because just if you do it straight, then it will sound like this, and it just sounds like there's two different drum beats on top of each other. It doesn't really mix that well. So once we're done, we're going to end up with something that sounds like this. Obviously you can do more to make it fit in better, EQing and different effects, but I'm just going to show you the basic concept here. So anyways, to get started, we're just going to assume that we already have a drum beat, which in this case we do. And so the next stage would be bringing in a Dr. Octo-Rex, or Dr. Rex if you're an older version. And once we have that, you can select a file to choose your loop that you want. The Reason Factory Sound Bank has some good ones. This one was in the Caribbean section of the Dr. Rex drum loops, but there's a lot in here. There's a lot of cool sounds, different sort of vibes and feels you can go for. But when you initially bring in a loop, it will have this enable loop playback on, so that when you start playing, if you hit play, then it will start playing through this loop. And you don't necessarily want that if you're making a song. You don't really need your drum loop to start at the very beginning and then end at the very end. So what we're going to do is, instead of having it in the Dr. Octo-Rex playing, we're going to actually disable the loop playback and then copy the loop to track. So now the Dr. Rex puts in a chromatic sequence the drum beat. It's all chopped up, so each one of these is a separate hit through that Dr. Rex sequence. And so this is really gonna this is what makes the Dr. Rex really cool, is it's broken up like this. So we'll go through some different options that you can do to make it fit in with your drum beat. So right now we have this, and the main thing that I notice when I hear that, or the main thing that you'll come across most often when doing this, is having multiple kick drums. Usually it's not that great of an idea unless you are really honing those kick drums in together. But in this case, the kick drums are doing different things, so I definitely don't want that. So to start, I'm going to start going through and selecting all the kick drums. So slice 1, I'm going to hold shift each time I select something, and that will keep the past things I selected also still selected. So kick drum, another kick drum, another kick drum, and I'm just going to continue this until I have all the kick drums selected. And then once we have that, 16, 19, that's a sound that we don't want, but I'll deal with that in a second. So now we have all these kick drums selected. There's a couple options that we can sort of choose. One option is just going ahead and deleting, and that's gonna, if I just solo this Dr. Rex, is gonna sound like this. And that doesn't sound bad at all, and actually with our drums, that's pretty much what I had when I showed you the example. But what I want to also show you is another option that works better for different parts, or also can give you a sound that you weren't really expecting that could be really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and bring back those notes that I deleted. They're still in the same spots that they were, but I have all the kick drums selected. But instead of deleting them, I'm going to set them all to the same note. So now they're still all kick drums, but they're all this kick drum. That's going to sound pretty much the same as it did initially, but what we actually want to do is move it to a sample other than a kick drum. So kick drum, that's sort of interesting, but actually I'm going to move it to slice 3 because that's a sound that it's not a kick drum, but could keep some syncopation sound in there. So now I'm going to solo this out again and play it back. So that's actually really cool. That gives us like a sort of drumline sort of feel that was not something that I was going for initially, but will actually work really well if I go ahead and move it to the section where I don't have a kick drum, sort of a build-up section. Oh, that has a really nice groove to it. Initially it just sounded like this, but with this Dr. Rex loop, it has a really nice groove to it. And that was just like, I don't know, 5 minutes of or less of messing around with the MIDI notes of the Dr. Rex. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I'm going to leave this video here, but hopefully you got something out of this, and thanks for watching.